Hi, we are now live. Hi, I'm Kara858, and today we'll bring you episode 7 of Lords of Faerun. As always, we'd like to give a huge thank you to the love and support we've received. We have just recently broke 200 followers, nearly doubling since Lords of Faerun has begun. The interest and enjoyment in our shows truly does mean the world to us. I'm so excited that you bring you today's episode. But first, we have a few things to discuss. We are proud to say that Lords of Faerun is officially sponsored by Die Hard Dice. Yes. Die Hard Dice is an incredible company that produces gorgeous dice and dice-associated items such as dice scrolls, dice trays, dice bags, and more. Recently, Die Hard Dice has collaborated with the Opera Geek to create the beautiful Avalore Aria dice. They also recently released their Pride product, which includes the gorgeous Horizon Dyer D20. So head on over to Die Hard Dice and use the promo code Faerun, that is Faerun, to get a discount off your purchase. So, time to level up your dice. Lords of Faerun is also now partnered with Idle Champions. Idle Champions is one of the biggest D&D games around, and this weekend inserted characters like Shaka, Korth, Nova, and more are buffed to help you obtain your midsummer variants. If you hit !code in chat, you will receive a code for a free Electrum chest. This chest provides free premium content to help accelerate your progress in the game, so enjoy. And if you like our show and would like to support us, Lords of Faerun has a Patreon. All the funds sent to our Patreon goes directly to the cast, and the Patreon offers exclusive content like after shows, podcasts, Patreon exclusive Discord channels, and even bonus episodes. And once we reach a certain goal, we will shoot our next bonus episode. More so, the next bonus episode will be determined by our Patreon members. A poll will be generated with ideas of pairings of circumstances, and the winner of the poll will be in our next bonus episode. I can't wait to see what our Patreon members choose, and this is just another way to say thank you for supporting us. Your contributions help us as content creators, and if you're not able to contribute financially, but would still like to support us, no worries. Liking us, retweeting, and getting the word out already does so much. It truly does make a major difference. It's like people say about the algorithm. It's definitely true. And we appreciate all the love and support that you've done for the channel. So with that said, it's time to introduce our cast, starting with, of course, Elisa. Elisa, like to talk about yourself and who you are?
Yeah, hello, I'm Elisa Pearl. I am dungeon mastering this glorious dragony adventure. And I am an actor, an improviser, and game master all over the interwebs. This weekend, I have a lot of games. So in addition to today, Lords of Faerun, tomorrow, I'm going to be I'm going to be playing with the Gax Pact, which is a Dungeons & Dragons 5e campaign over on GaryCon Live, DM'd by Jason Charles Miller. And that's tomorrow. And then Monday, I am going to be game mastering my monthly Klingon game, Blood of the Void. That's at Q time, 6:30 p.m. Pacific. And please definitely check out our Klingon game. We only do it once a month. So when we do it, we're all very excited. And it's a very fun world to play in, being Klingons. And then Tuesday, I have my Dune TTRPG that I play in. That's over on Saving Throw Show, 5:30 p.m. Pacific. And then Thursday, we've started back up with the Cortex RPG Dragon Prince game. We're starting a fresh new adventure. And that is Thursdays. Ooh, what time? Thursdays at 3 p.m. Pacific on the Fandom Tabletop Twitch channel.
Ooh, wow.
And you can follow, if you forget all that and you want to check out some of it, just follow me. I'm at Elisa Pearl on Twitter and Instagram, and I post about all these things.
Wow.
It's a full schedule.
What a schedule. I was like, and on the 7th day, they sleep.
I know. That's why I slept till 12:30 today.
Incredible. Make our way down. You have the fantastic Diana. Diana, would like to talk about yourself, who you're playing, and about content you're working on.
Hi, I'm Diana, or Super Dylan everywhere on the internet. You can go to superdylan.com actually and find everything that I do. And I just want to say that all of my games right now, wherever they are on sale all at once. So Neverland, the Impossible Island, a setting to play D&D in Neverland in, is on sale over on DriveThruRPG. And I also wrote a solo RPG called And D, a game where you play a dragon named Andy. And that is on sale over on itch.io. But if you go to superdylan.com, you'll see everything. I have a lot of stuff coming up, but right now I'm just in this game. And on Wednesdays, I play a sentient mech suit over on Unmade Gaming's channel. And that's it for me.
Awesome. And of course, make our way down, we have the fantastic Ree. Ree, you'd like to talk about yourself, who you're playing, any projects you may be working.
Hello, everyone. I am at Big Dude Ree on the socials. I am playing the lovely bard Avis Twani. And I do play the lovely Ardris on Rivenwood Academy, which you should definitely check out. And we do have a bit of a something coming up soon that I'm super excited to share with everyone. But we can't talk about just yet, so stay tuned.
Almost. Like I say, just be on the lookout for a couple of weeks. Yes, we're making our way forward. We, of course, have Eliza. Eliza, like to talk about yourself, who you're playing, any projects you're working on?
Hey guys, I'm Glyza, classical Glyza everywhere. I'm a podcaster. That's my main thing actually. I am a podcaster for Classical Adventures for One. I'm the host of that show. It's basically a show where I talk about classic books, read them dramatically, provide some trivia that you may not know. It's an educational resource that I'm putting together for high school students or teachers that may be interested in a different way of listening or learning about classic books. And then I'm also in other TTRPG, live shows. This one definitely as Helena, the elf with a secret. And then I also play Michaela on Blood on the Bayou, a vampire with a secret. And then I play Cynthia Avaya on Mekong Delta Blues, City of Miss TTRPG game. And all of these things that I told you, you can find the link to it on bio.link/classical Glyza. You can see, all these stuff that I mentioned. And I'm having fun just working on my podcast. Season 2 is coming. It's coming in September. There's going to be a lot of guest voices this time around instead of just me. So keep an eye out. I'm excited to see see what everybody thinks. I'll be working on Agatha Christie this season. So we're going to study about Hercule Poirot, which is one of my favorite detectives of the classic world. So that's me.
I just realized I think Cynthia is the first character that doesn't have a secret, or does she? Who knows?
I mean, we never know.
We'll make our way over. Of course, you have the fantastic Adrian. Adrian, like to talk about yourself, who you're playing, and the things you're working on.
Hey everyone, Adrian or Aries, you can call me either, and you can find me here at playing Jesse Diaz, the wonderful Azamar, and you can also find me over at The Bear Pen, that's pen with an H at the end of it, on twitch.tv/The Bear Pen, and I am a storyteller of Blood of the Bayou and the MC of Macon Delta Blues, which you can find both Kira and Glyza in as well. And we have a whole bunch of projects coming up soon, some Mage the Ascension shows, which are coming up in August and September. And we have a werewolf show that's going to be coming up in September as well. And August 13th, I'm super excited because we have part 2 of our The Secret Life of Cats game, which part 1 was a heck of a lot of fun to storytell for everyone. So I'm looking forward to part 2. And you can find me on Twitter at the Adrian Bear and also on these channels. So I'm looking forward to today as well.
Fantastic. As for yours truly, I mean, pretty much everyone mostly wrapped up most of the projects that I am. But I am Kira858. As mentioned, I'm mostly in projects of the Bear Pen and City of Mist, as well as his Vampire the Masquerade. Of course, I'm here for Lords of Faerun, as well as Riverwood Academy. We also have 2 new projects coming in the near future, exclusively for YouTube, which may feature some well-known individuals. So keep a lookout for that. Thank you, Super Rave Monster, for the resub. We definitely appreciate you. Thank you for coming in and chat, sneaking through like that. But yeah, I am super excited for everything that's coming up in the near future. As well as what's going to happen today. Everybody's talking about TPK, but it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. So, with that said, let's go ahead and bring you the intro video for episode 7 of Lords of Faerun.
Latreo, Avis, Jesse, Helena, Ice, Elliot, Aliza as DM, Lords of Faerun.
All right. And we are back. So with that said, Aliza, take it away.
Right. So, as you all may remember, last session we ended in a pretty harrowing situation. Being inside of a calving, crumbling giant glacier is a harrowing event for the senses. The loud cracks of the ice wall as it splits to pieces around you, the low rumble as this split up glacier and its ice sheets start to rub against one another, causing friction as they sink into the icy water. Add to that the fact that you are all inside of a dragon clan's den. You can hear the echo of dragons rumbling in other caves inside this ice sheet, the dragons rumbling, roaring, and scrambling themselves to find freedom from an icy death, which is a situation that you all find yourselves now having in common with them. As the room starts to crumble and dive around you, the last 2 things you noticed at the end of the last session were that Shireen's control weather spell, which has caused this situation, has, number 1, melted K, the young dwarf teen that was frozen by a dragon's ice breath. And it has also split apart and freed Eras, the centuries-old storm giant that was encased in the glacier wall and kind of put on display as ornamentation in this dragon clan's treasure room. So, you all are now inside the treasure room. Ice chunks falling around you. I do need you all to make dexterity checks to see if you can avoid being hit by falling ice.
I get advantage? Yeah. Okay. Let's see.
The checks or saves?
Yes, sorry. There'll be saves.
You see.
22.
22, okay.
18.
Okay.
Okay,
24 for Helena.
all right,
Oh, 21.
13 for Jesse.
okay. And 21 for Latreo.
Mhm.
Okay, so
But I do
You
have
all-
evasion. That helps.
what was that?
I believe I have evasion. If that helps.
Okay. Yeah, let us know. But for sure, the 4 of you, Elliot, Avis, Helena, and Latreu, you notice that this is happening. You're able to avert disaster from being a huge ice chunk on your head as you dive and dodge around these falling ice chunks. Jesse, you're having a little bit more trouble at first. So you do get hit by a medium size, maybe like a foot in diameter piece of ice. But let me know if you do have evasion, because then you can avoid
I do.
taking
At least you
damage.
take half the damage.
Okay.
So,
All right. So all right. So you would take 4 damage, and let's say that's bludgeoning damage.
okay.
So Latrell first, after he slides to the side of these rocks dropping from up top, he looks up at them first, looks down at the creature. He pulls his blade that was impaled in the dragon that he slayed. He pulls it out of the neck and just yells, "That's for Snowroot," and then starts to make his way towards the because he's huge now. He makes his way towards the giant that was released. Now, is the giant conscious, or is the giant unconscious at the moment?
You would not, as you walk over to the giant, you see that it is fully intact. It looks as if it could be sleeping, but you would have to get closer and actually check for breath or for heartbeat.
So I was actually over there at the end. I had gone over to inspect that, and as soon as it is free, I would like to try to examine it.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and make a, let's see, what kind of check would that be? Maybe
Medicine?
Yeah, medicine. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Ooh. Hang on. Where'd you go? 21.
Okay. So I'll say, as a ranger, you have come across beings that are kind of in this state of between life and death. This storm giant has been frozen for centuries, so it's been a long time, but this is a fantasy world, and being frozen doesn't necessarily mean death. And also, this is a being that lives for centuries and longer. So you do a quick check. You check for breath. You check for a heartbeat. You place your hand on this giant's chest where the heart is, and you wait, and not too long, because this ice palace is crumbling around you. But after about 30 seconds, you feel a boom, boom, and then that's it.
This is a terrible idea, what I'm going to do, because I have very little health myself, but I have 1 health potion on me, and I'm going to pour it down the ice giant's mouth.
While Elliot is doing that, I'm going to look for the thing that we promised to give back to what's her name again? The other giant.
The dagger.
The dagger. So I'm going to
Nimrod.
see if I can find it, or if it's something that I can sort of carry back. Because fully assuming that this giant is probably dead, in her head, she's just gonna look at it and see if I can carry this and bring it back or whatever. So that's what she's gonna be doing.
Yeah, go ahead and make an investigation check looking for this dagger.
Also, just to clarify, would I need to help Elliot up to his mouth, or would Elliot be like climbing up his or because he's standing up, right?
I assume once he melted out of the ice, he kind of like
Slumped.
fell to the ground.
Okay, gotcha.
Because like once he's out of the ice, it's just like
Yep.
Blame. So 19 for my investigation.
Okay, you take a look around in this this tumbling, moving room, and your investigation skills are excellent, and you do see the hilt of actually what looks like to you a great sword in a pile of treasure.
How heavy would this sword be?
So would you like to go over and pick it up?
Yeah, I want to see if I can pick it up.
Okay,
Just to see if I
actually
can.
go ahead and make a strength check. And I will say, as you get closer to it, you notice that she calls it a dagger, and for her it's a dagger, but it's a great sword for you.
So it's 16 on that strength check.
Oh yeah,
Just a straight up strength check.
yeah. You're able to, like Arthur pulling the sword out of the stone, you are able to just body this great sword out of the treasure, and you triumphantly lift it out of the pile of treasure that it is sitting in.
And again, I want to remind everyone I'm still invisible, so they just see this like dagger floating out of nowhere. And I do shout, "It's me! Don't worry, the sword isn't moving." So.
Great. Okay.
Good job, everyone. We should leave now. We should really be going.
Wait, did the giant wake up when?
Oh, yes, we haven't resolved that. How much? Tell me about that health potion you have, and how much.
So that was if I'm not mistaken, it was a greater health potion, right? Yeah. Okay. So let me see. So it'll be a total of 11.
Okay, so you pour this potion down the mouth of this slumped giant, and after just a couple of seconds, you see, first of all, being still close enough to the heart to feel those very spaced out heartbeats, you notice that they bum, 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 bum. They're coming sooner now, bum, bum. You notice a little bit of warmth return to the giant's face and skin, and you see it start to flutter its eyes very barely.
I'm sorry to wake you up like this, but we've got to run.
The giant.
Also, sorry, well, just to interrupt, the dagger is invisible now too, because apparently with my invisibility, whatever I touch is invisible.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, because then I'm like, wait a minute. He sees me grabbing this sword if he does wake up. I'm like, no, that thing is invisible. I am hugging it.
So the giant flutters its eyes barely open and sees you, Elliot, and says, "Is the war won? Did we win?"
Do I know what war he's talking about?
Yeah, the war between the giants and the dragons.
So they did win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the giants
They did.
won. Yeah, but
Okay, cool.
Okay, so largely, in the grand scheme, yes, you did win. You, however, appear to have been kept as some sort of consolation prize, frozen here in the dragon's lair.
How long have I been sleeping?
I don't know, and I would love to help you find out, but as stated previously, we should go quickly now.
And then from that moment, Latrell just pretty much just bend over because he's gigantic. He's around 37 feet tall. So he's actually larger than Shireen in her normal state. And he just like gums down, just like say, "Here, I'll help you out." And then just picks him up and just carries him over his shoulders, kind of like over his shoulders now, and then just starts to make his way across.
Wow. I mean, give me a strength check just to see. I mean, you're very strong, so I don't doubt it. But
That difference.
I assume this is going to be very weird for our very long sleeping giant. Just a random person just grabbing him like, "Let's go."
That's a rate of 14, or
Different question there.
What's that?
Now that things are melting, do I see anything that's I'm keeping my eyes open to see if anything in this melting cave is maybe reminiscent of documents, because we know that they had dealings with that cult, that they convinced that cult to come after our dragon. So as I am preparing to hopefully fly the heck out of this cave, I want to see if I see any melted documents on the way out.
Yeah, go ahead and make an investigation check.
Okay.
And while you do that, Latrell, what was your strength check?
27.
Okay, so yes, you. The giant if you remember, only the torso was visible, or sorry, not even the torso, the bust of the giant was visible in this room. And so when it gets freed from the ice, most of its body is still hidden from you, but the ground, of course, is moving and sinking, and so more of the giant is becoming visible. Latreyu, you manage to walk over to the giant and grab it underneath its armpits and just kind of lift him up as if you're a lifeguard pulling him from the water. And yes, it is, you see the shock in Eros's face as this almost jolts him awake more. And he says, "What is happening? Where are we?" And he's just very disoriented, looking around the room and finally seeing you all for the first time. Jesse, what was the result of your investigation?
That was a 14.
Okay, so you find, you actually, something hits your eye, and it is a tube that is covered in goat hide. It's partially open, so it has like a goat hide covered cap on it that has been opened. And there is a scroll of paper, just a roll of paper, I should say, not a scroll officially. There's a tube of paper inside it that has spilled out, and with this melting ice around it, has been partially wetted by melting ice.
I'm going to grab that, and then I'm hopefully going to fly over to our recently defrosted dwarven friend. And hopefully Kay is not dead. But if they are, even when I grab them and start flying the way we need to fly, I would like to dump my healing hands into them for nine
Okay.
points.
So you'd like to, what would you like to do first? You head over to Kay, and then what's the first step?
I'm going to pick them up and use my racial ability, it's a healing hands kind of thing called Radiant Soul, to give them 9 hit points. Oh wait,
Okay.
not Radiant Soul, it's the other one. That was just healing hands, yeah.
Okay, so you have to make a roll, right, for that?
No, it's just 9 hit points.
Oh, okay, great.
So hopefully they didn't die, and that this is just gonna maybe bring him back to life.
All right, let me just do some quick math. It shouldn't be too much. So they were, let's see. They were blasted by this ice, and the ice melted, and they are still standing there stiff because their body is cold from that icy blast. You go over and scoop them up and give them these 9 points of healing, which brings them back to a state of being conscious. So before, their eyes kind of had glazed over in this icy, frosty stare. And now that healing you deliver brings them back to being alert.
Don't worry, kid, I got you. We'll get you back to your people.
Okay. She tries to speak, and her vocal cords are still kind of frozen and defrosting. Okay, so how would you all like to escape this?
So your boy is huge, as mentioned. He's around, he went from large to huge size. So I'm going to need to look for an exit that is also huge size, because I know I can shrink, but I'm not sure if he can shrink, the one that I have over my shoulder. So hopefully there is a exit that is fitting for our size. Otherwise, Latreyu might start going climbing and to see if there's like an exit through the roof or something.
Okay.
How big is the other giant?
The other giant is 28 feet tall.
So is that large or huge?
Huge.
I would say that's large. Oh, it's huge.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Storm giants are normally huge creatures.
Oh, okay. Oh, yes, that's right. Yeah.
Elena is just gonna like fly around and look for an easy way out.
Okay. All right. Yeah. How about you all do an investigation check to find an exit?
Can we see the other dragons at this point?
You start to see, actually, yes, you look around and you start to see, now that the ice is breaking apart, it's revealing other spaces in this glacier. You see other dragons scrambling, trying to get out as well. You see some dragons that actually have been injured, possibly dead, and they're just kind of sliding. It's like an ice slide at this point for them. They're sliding down into the icy water with the glacier around them, unable to move. But you see others that are scrambling. You see others that have already escaped.
All right, so there is 1, 2, 3, 5, 4, 6. So yeah, I'm going to cast a mass healing word at 3rd level.
Okay.
And everyone is going to be healed 6 additional hit points. And that will be for the 4 of us, the 4 of you, and then the giant, and then I guess Shireen is all that. Or the little other person that was frozen. How hurt did they look?
Kay looked pretty bad. Kay is now awake, but still kind of out of it. She has 1 hit point.
Yeah, it'll go to them. Right, well, everyone, it's time for us to get out of here. This was fun and all, but let's go. Everyone, let's go.
That's
It's kind of like...
That's 6 points added to our HP, right? You said?
Mhm.
Cool.
So I have a 0 modifier for intelligence, which makes sense. But your boy rolled a 19, so I don't know how that happened. For investigation, for finding a way up.
Great.
Yeah, I only rolled a 14, and I think that instead of looking for a way out, Elliot is going to be attempting to whistle for Leonid.
Okay. All right. So, okay. Did anyone roll below a 10?
No.
I had
on the investigation. Oh, not me.
Yeah, to find
I
out.
rolled natural 1 on the investigation, so yeah, I did.
I get that.
Okay. So, Elliot, you whistle for Leonid. And the rest of you are looking around for exits. Latreyu, you see that there's a big split happening in the wall next to you, facing you. And it is splitting in such a way that it's creating a crack that's widening like this. You all feel the room shift to the side and start to sink down. Helena, invisible with the great sword, you are able to just like run towards that crack. And you see that on the other side of the crack, the glacier is still intact. It's not tumbling. And if you like, you can run over and get to the side that's not sinking. Same thing with you, Jesse. Elliot, Leonid starts to hover over and through that crack sees you and gets further down to get closer. And finally, Avis, you rolled a 1 on that investigation. Avis, you can tell me why this is the case, but you are, maybe you're caught up with Kay. Jesse comes and scoops Kay over, and that's why, because you're across the room in the entrance that you came in, which is all the way across from where this exit is happening. Unfortunately, you are in the path of a lot of ice that's falling, and the room is going to like throw you down further into that path. That hallway that you came in, it's going to throw you back further. So now you're going to be out of sight from people in the room, unless they saw you fall back.
Can I roll to see him?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I do have a passive perception of 17, so I don't know if that counts.
Okay. Yeah.
What would I roll? Perception, right then?
Yeah, perception.
All right.
Jesse, since you're higher up, and with your passive perception, yes, you can say that you did see Avis get thrown back further into this entryway.
So I got 18 in my perception.
Okay, so you both saw that happen.
Okay. Jesse's pretty strong, so I think I can probably fly up there while holding Kay and trying to help out.
Okay, great. Do you like sling Kay onto your back?
Yeah, I'll put them on my back and just hold on tight. I need to try to help Avis.
Okay. Okay, and Kay says, okay, still very groggy and sleepy. But Kay's holding tight onto you, holding onto your back. Your wings flap and descend down this tunnel to get Avis. Go ahead and do a strength check to see if you can grab Avis from this.
Well, nah.
Avis, how are you on hit points? Are you...
No, it's too slippery. Jesse doesn't like gas. It's not. That's a 1.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
Now I both get stuck.
Oh, no, yeah. Avis, how are your hit points?
Natural 1 plus 7 is 8, but still it's natural 1. Oh, no.
3, you might be muted.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
All right, I was muted. I have 30 hit points, and then Avis will say, I will be fine, Jesse. Just get the others out of here.
Okay, so yeah, Jesse, you, even with everything cracking and the ice creating new openings, you do get, your wings can't get through one of the openings to get to Avis.
Okay. I don't really want to leave you.
I will be fine.
Helena, you saw this happen too.
Yeah.
Do you do anything?
I do. I basically, I don't know if I'm quick enough to do it, but I hide the dagger somewhere so that when I let go, it doesn't immediately like show itself. And then I dive in to see if I can use like burning hands maybe to like melt some stuff so that Jesse and probably Avis can, get out. Like burning hands, but not like so hot that it makes everything melt around me, but it's sort of like that.
Okay.
I'm gonna try and do that.
Great.
That's something I can do, right? Yeah.
So you cast Burning Hands on the ice wall that is between you and Avis, the one that now Jesse is kind of a little bit stuck in. His wings kind of can't really get wide enough to flap. The fire shoots out from your fingers, and gently, you said not to burn people, but you start to gently melt the ice around. Jesse, you are now able to get your wings free, and the ice starts to open up more. And now you do have a better view of Avis, and it's a large enough opening for your bodies to get through. Jesse,
as I see Avis, I'm like, well, let's go. Let's get out of here. Basically, that's what I tell him. So, but it's just a voice.
Oh, right. Okay. Avis, so you see that Jesse, with the dwarf on his back, is now freed from the ice tunnel that he was trying to pull you through. But you're looking up, and there is like just this slippery slope of ice now, where the floor of this tunnel was horizontal. It's now on a very steep angle. So you're going to have to try to dex your way up there. Or Jesse, you all can work together to kind of get him up.
Remember, Jesse did buy everybody climbing gear. So if there's a time to use it,
Look at
Use
that.
it now.
Yes.
My strength score is 0, so I think you're expecting to.
I mean, Jesse and I can both fly, so we can like assist you as you're climbing up, or we can hold your hand. But like, I'll turn off my burning hands in a minute, but we can hold your hand so we can fly you up, I guess.
So when we first came in, we came to like the little, I don't know, like
The little hole
catacomb
that we dug into.
thingies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, how close is Avis to that spot?
That's where you slipped down. So you were standing near that, I think it was like a 4-foot deep, kind of a low tunnel that you all had to crouch down into to get into this treasure room. You were standing near that entrance because that's where Kay, sorry, I'm not describing this well. Kay was in the, I think I was calling it the hallway. So the next room tunnel, but before you get to that small tunnel you dug and into the treasure room, that's where you are right now. But you have fallen down to the back of it, probably like 20 feet.
Yeah, so Would it be faster to try and climb or easier to try to climb that or go back to when we first got here and we first met the kids? That we flew up into that little, like, I don't know, like hole that was just in the ice.
Yep.
That kind of just lead out there. Would it be easier for me to get to that spot or for me to try to run up this ice path?
Yeah. Well, I'll give you a little bit more description. So yeah, you're about 24, 25 feet from the treasure room, but on a very steep slope, slippery slope. And going back, you basically would have to just like go down and probably like dive into the water. And it's about like a windy, probably 50 feet of windy, icy tunnel, and then a 60-foot chute that is now pointing downward into the ice.
I don't know. Let's just try this Icy Path. Let's see if it'll work. So,
Okay.
Okay. Is it a dex check or a dex saving throw?
Well, let's see. If you're now going to take the icy route,
Where he is gonna walk up, right? Like instead of diving down into the water.
Yes, I would try to go to them. I would try to go up the icy hill.
got it. Sorry,
Okay,
I thought you were
cool.
going down. All right. Yeah. So that would be dexterity, a dexterity check.
All right, so that is a dirty 20.
Oh, great. Okay. So you whip out that climbing gear. You remember, Jesse probably called down, remember that climbing gear? You pull out your spikes and like a pro, you're able to get your spikes into the ice and make yourself a climbing apparatus, and you get up to the opening.
All right. Well, let's we should really be going out of here. I don't think that's going to work next time, and I probably won't succeed in doing that again.
Okay.
Let's
Going back to Elliot real quick. What do you do when Leonid now is hovering in this opening?
I'm gonna try to see if I can like get up onto him. I also want to see, where is Latreia? Is Latreia like at this moment in time?
So Latreia has the storm giant kind of
Right.
like holding on, propping him up, Eris. And Latreia is also looking for an exit, right?
Yeah, that's how I rolled that 19. Was
Mhm.
for,
Oh,
for-
okay. So I guess I'm trying to climb up, and I'm also trying to gauge whether or not Latreia is handling it or is in trouble, because I feel like Latreia right now is better equipped for the situation than I am. So I'm.
And speaking of, let's shift to Latreia. So Shireen walks up to you and grabs the other side of Eris and says, "Okay, which way do we go? Here are your options. Here's what you see. You see that kind of V that's forming in the ice, slowly growing as that side of the glacier dips into the ice. On the other side, you see smaller rooms that some are like kind of like iced in, I should say. Like there's been like these avalanches of ice in the different rooms of the dragon's den. You see some dragons that are injured, dead, some that are now flying above that have been freed. And then you just see, basically the only exit you see is that V, and you don't see anything on the other side of it besides icy water. But with your investigation, your successful investigation check, you see that outside of that V, there are some kind of like steps that have been created. Some are like very steep, but some are almost level so that you could like step out and be on the side of the calving ice wall.
Okay. Does it look like I have to bum rush past that icy water, or is it? Do we think we just be able to walk past it without any resistance? Okay.
Yeah, the icy water is still like 40 feet below you
Okay.
as you're sinking down. Let's say 30 feet, because I think you already were about 40 feet in the air. So let's say it's at 30 feet now. Where you are is sinking closer to the water, but you're still above it.
Okay. So Latreia would definitely point towards the V-shaped exit. It says, "That looks to be the only one. I guess we have to head out that way."
Okay, let's go.
Okay.
Shireen
and he'll point
helps
towards
you.
Elliot, like, right out that way. I guess that's the only route I can see. And then
Okay.
starts to slowly path through this water.
So then in that case, what I'm going to try to do when I see that is I'm going to try to hop up on Leonid and see if Leonid and I can follow that path, but from above, and like kind of see if we are able to vaguely trace where Latreia and Charisse are running.
Absolutely, yeah. So you're able to climb onto. Actually, just give me a quick dexterity check. Because Leonid is at this V open, it's widening slowly. So soon Leonid could just come down and you could mount Leonid, or that probably is going to be what happens. Give me your dexterity check to see if you can, how well you mount Leonid.
That's going to be a 16.
Okay, great, yeah. The opening gets wide enough that, let's say after Latreia, and I will ask for a dexterity check from you and Shireen in a second, but after they pass, Leonid is able to descend down and you're able to climb up onto Leonid's back. Let's actually go back to the other three. So Avis, you're at the top of this now ice slide that was a tunnel, safely at the top of it. Helena and Jesse, what do you do?
How the heck do we get out of here?
So you look around and you see the same things that I just described. You see the V, you see the tumbling rooms on the other two walls.
I would probably just grab hold of Jesse's hand so he knows that I'm here, and grab hold of Avis and probably say, I think we should fly to that hole over there. And damn it, I have to turn off my invisibility to point so you can see it over there on that pointing right thing, like 90 degrees, wherever. I try to explain it without turning off my invisibility because I don't want to.
I guess we're flying that way. Sure.
Are you able to fly with that many people?
I mean, I'm not Jesse can fly, and mostly we're basically helping you to fly. For both of us, right?
I do have K on my back, but they're small enough that it might be okay.
Okay, and Helena, remind me, you put the sword somewhere, or did you
I put it down. No, I put it down somewhere because I knew probably I would have to pull people up, but I did hide it. I tried to hide it so that the giant doesn't see me holding it.
Okay, but you hid it in the room.
No, I hit it. So I got out, remember? And then I saw Avis
pulling
fall
the
in.
giant up.
So I just sort of dropped it somewhere and then came back to get Avis.
So it's in the room though. It's not on your body.
I thought I got out and then I dropped it and then I went back into the room because you said that there was a sort of an opening and we got out of it.
Oh, you dropped it on the other side of the opening?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. I didn't catch that, but okay. Okay. Can you just give me a retroactive sleight of hand to see how well you hit it? And it's actually going to be if it's somewhere that's safe.
Oh, my sleight of hand is plus 12.
Okay, well.
So that is a 19 plus 12.
Okay.
I hate math, so I think I did
20,
well.
31.
Yes.
I feel like I did well.
You did. Great. So you were able to put it in a place that is safe from this tumbling room, and you'll be able to pick it up again. So the four of you, so Adrian with Kay, the dwarf, on your back, Helena holding Jesse's hand, and Avis, what order? Is Avis in the middle and you're kind of both helping him to fly?
I think so. We're gonna weaken at Bernie's and both of us together.
We have two weekend at Bernie's situations happening, one with Avis and flying and the other with a storm giant that's barely awake.
This is going to cast dancing lights out that hole, presumably wherever Elliot called for Leonid, and to let you know that he would really appreciate her assistance at the moment.
Okay, great. So you cast dancing lights, and the three of you ascend up. Latreia, go ahead and give me a dexterity check, and I'll do the same for Shireen to see how. Sorry?
Is it dexterity saving throw or a check?
Nope, a check.
Oh, check. Gotcha.
To see how well you can step out whether you tumble into the ice or if you're able to find those steps outside. And Shireen will do the
I
same.
appreciate the lights. I don't really need it. I don't think any of us really need it right now. You should
Oh yeah, everybody can see, obviously. But if it makes Avis feel safe, that's okay. Keep the lights on.
Yeah, you feel safe, and that's fine.
I'm going to use lucky because that was a natural 2.
Okay,
so you can roll that again. All right.
So you, okay,
much better. That would be not fantastic, but it is a 14.
Okay, so
sorry, 50 having plus 3.
On your way to this V-shaped growing exit, you slip a little bit, but Shireen is strong. Shireen rolled an 18, so she has your back. She holds strong with Eris on her side as you slip a little bit, but then you gather yourself and get back on your feet, and the two of you successfully step outside onto those small step shelves that have been created on the ice wall. The three of you and Elliot from above, actually you all will see this. You look back down, having just escaped this glacier, half of the glacier wall, not half, but this section of the glacier wall that has shifted down, and you see it just sink. You see all this treasure just sinking into the icy waters, as well as the ice caves and just huge chunks of ice all in a tumble, jumbling together, almost like you're watching the Titanic sink down into the Atlantic.
I am never gonna get that boat.
Well,
Helena
it's
is
just
humming.
in the water. We can find it later.
Helena is humming "Money Can't Buy You Love."
Where is Avis right now?
Avis is flying between Helena and Jesse.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Bullet.
Close your eyes.
Latrell looks around. He's, where's the? Did we get the sword?
Helena stays silent.
Where is it?
And
I
Shireen
was a
says,
bit
"Oh yeah,
preoccupied.
where is the sword?"
Sorry, I was focused more on our survival.
Oh, no worries. I was just. Did anyone see it? Where was the last place it was shown?
I didn't, but if we could go down, I can find it. It shouldn't be too difficult. Thanks.
Once we're
If
sure
not-
this avalanche has passed.
Yes, naturally, that would be
Yeah.
preferable.
And there's bound to be a whole mess of angry dragons that are left over and not dead, so maybe we should have this conversation somewhere else.
Yeah, let them come. I'll get it that sword.
Helena quietly steps away and touches the sword so it becomes invisible again, and then just sort of walks back with the carrying it as a backpack if she can. I don't even know how, but
Yes.
she's basically holding on to that giant sword invisible style.
Okay, so you detach from Avis. You were helping Jesse to fly Avis, so you detach from him and go back to the sword.
Are we still flying? Has he? All right, then I will. When we land somewhere,
Okay.
that is what I will be doing. But Helena stays silent, while
Okay.
everybody's talking about the sword.
So, the best place for you to land is probably just to fly up and be on top of the glacier again. And from there, though, you would have to fly back down to where the sword is because it's inside. If you imagine a dollhouse that's been opened, and the room that you were in is one of the rooms that went into the water, but there's other broken and snowed in, iced in rooms, and that's where you hid the sword, in one of those rooms.
Okay, so Helena says we should fly and land somewhere pretty quickly, please, if we can't.
Absolutely agreed.
That's up to you two at the moment, actually.
I
go
can't
ahead,
fly, but I can climb. But he looks over and looks over to Shireen and says, "We can climb together, right?"
Yeah, we gotta we gotta get out of this. Is not a safe place for us to just stand on the side of the glacier. So yeah, let's climb.
He looks at Elliot and says, "Oh, meet you up. We're just going to climb this section.
Okay.
See you up there.
Be safe.
Okay, so everyone's in movement now. So let's start with, actually, let's say Yuki. Avis, you called Yuki just a few minutes ago, and Yuki now soars into the scene and says,
I have a question.
Oh my God, Avis, what happened to you?
I thought we'd left them like.
Oh,
real
1 second,
far
Jesse.
away, like,
Can you hear me? One
Wait.
second, Jesse. Avis, you see Yuki fly in and just kind of get under your body, and just kind of gently pick you up, basically, and say, "Are you okay? What happened? What happened to you?"
I am fine. Everyone is too concerned. I am barely wounded. It's no big deal.
You don't look good.
I'm fine. I like to think I've never looked better. I think the snow and ice is a good look for me. You
Okay,
disagree?
we need to talk about your delusions of grandeur, because you look like you just barely escaped death.
Yuki, that wounds me. I can assure you it was fine. It was barely a cold shower. It is fine.
But it was not fine.
Shower.
Yeah, it was fun. There's no need to worry. There's no need to worry. It'll be a fantastic story. I promise.
After this conversation, Yuki lands on the top of the glacier. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Adrian. What were you saying?
Oh, I was saying I thought we had left the dragons way back at the lake.
Yeah, down below. So now, right, that's where you left them, down where that river opened, widened up into a lake.
Further
Yeah.
away.
It's like 150 feet, and these dragons fly fast. So, yeah.
Oh,
Avis was making like a North Star in the air with the light. So we're like,
Mhm.
Also, the minute Yuki sort of like whatever, the minute Avis isn't heavy, whatever, on Helena's hand, she lets go and just dives. And I could totally roll for that if you want me to, but dives and gets the sword.
That's okay. Yeah, we can say that you go back to get the sword.
Cool.
And I will have you roll to see you have sleight. You have such, you know what? Never mind. You have such good sleight of hand. You're gonna be able to hide it on your. You're gonna make it invisible. You said, like on your back.
Yeah, it's gonna be invisible because I still have invisible, and if I'm holding on to anything, it turns invisible. So
Okay, so you're fully invisible again with the sword on your back.
I've never been not invisible.
Oh, okay. All right.
So this whole time it's like,
All right.
you know.
So you got it. Yeah, you're back now. You're invisible and you have the sword with you. Okay, so yes, we have Avis, who is now on Yuki's back, and they're having a little quarrel-ish maybe. Elliot and Leonid are overhead as well, and you can land if you like.
Yes.
Now, two things are happening. So Latreia, Shireen now need to climb and lift Eris up onto the top of the glacier. But you also do see these dragons around of the, I forgot the clan name.
Hellfang.
Hellfang clan. White dragons of all different sizes. Some are in the air, some are on top of the ice, further away from you, like I would say several tens of feet away from you. But some are actually on the edge of the glacier wall, having literally just climbed or flown their way out of that dollhouse of openings of glacier rooms. But first, let's resolve this climbing adventure with the giants. So, Latreia and Shireen, let's have you roll dexterity to see if you can get back up.
Could I use athletics to climb?
You sure can.
Perfect.
And actually, let's see if Shireen, what's her better? She has dexterity. Let's see, what she have? Athletics. Ooh, yeah, she's gonna roll athletics too. Oh yeah, she bodies that.
But yeah, same here. 24. No, 26. What do you say?
She got 27. 18 plus 9.
Siblings.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah. You all, it's actually like quite a feat to see these 2 storm giants lift a third one while climbing an ice wall. Do you use your climbing gear? Will that even be effective at this size with you being this
I don't
large?
think so. Oh,
Maybe not,
no,
yeah.
the items. No, because the items still grow when I grow.
Oh, yeah,
So,
that's right. Okay.
Yeah.
So you both pull out climbing gear. I think she has some as well. And yeah, you're able to, it's amazing that you're able to do this. It's quite an impressive feat of strength and athletics. And you pull Eris over the edge of the glacier wall and you pull yourselves up as well. So now you all are on top of the glacier wall. Adrian, are you muted?
No.
No.
Does the volume need to be loud?
Yes, please. Yes.
All right, I will try more.
Okay.
Zoom is being funny settings.
Is
I
it just me? Oh, no.
When I land up there, I would just like to be like, do we have confirmation that Helena is alive? I haven't seen her.
Should be fine.
I
You were
heard.
talking to me a moment ago.
I
Do
heard.
I
Oh.
hear her say this?
I have.
Yeah, I mean, you're all there, so yeah. You
I just say, I'm right here, but like invisible.
Oh, okay. Just when you do that, just say something every so often.
No problem.
Okay.
And Shireen says, I am concerned. If we didn't get that sword, that was the whole point of us going there.
We saved a
That
bunch of people.
dagger.
I think that's a fair trade.
That is
Who
true.
did we save?
Well, for one, apparently a frozen ice giant.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
We saved
yeah.
his children. The children are still alive. That is good. I wasn't expecting that. I'm very glad they are.
Yeah. Okay, fine. But Ymra's not going to be happy.
Maybe. I mean, the way she was kind of talking about your fella here, I think maybe she was looking for a different kind of sword, if you catch what I mean. And maybe he'll be enough.
He did have a crush on her. Maybe that's enough for Imra?
Look, the trail looks confused and it turns to Elliot. It's like, is this one of those conversations again?
It's one of those conversations.
Okay.
It's not a particularly. It's more of a joke than anything.
This always confuses me, but thanks for it.
No problem.
He starts collecting that much stuff in their house, in their cave. They clearly have some kind of problem.
They need to get that group. Imra needs to get that group to visit.
Either that
know.
or she needs a new sword in her life.
I feel like the very angry dragons are a bit more of a immediate problem than your friend with the giant list will think. They are very angry and will most likely be wanting to take vengeance on things, and that usually means that a lot of innocent people will probably be killed unless we stop them.
You all notice, it's hard not to notice this, so I won't have you roll for it or anything. You notice at this point that the dragons have been getting closer to you. Both the ones on top of the glacier wall and the ones that were circling ahead. They now start to circle above you. They're noticing you.
How many can we see?
You can see 14 dragons.
Damn it, we need to get out of here.
So many
Perhaps
dragons
we
at
should
once.
discuss this somewhere else.
One of them from the air calls down, "It was them!" in Draconic. "It was them. They're why this happened." And another one on the glacier, where you are standing, comes closer and is now about 50 feet away from you. This is an adult dragon. Walks closer to you and says, "Who are you? And what have you done?"
I'm not entirely sure what you're referring to.
We did not cause this.
This dragon, out of rage, just like, it's about 50 feet from you, doesn't intend to hurt you, so doesn't point this to you, but just like breathes icy breath out off the side of the glacier wall. And almost like a yell or a scream. You nearly killed us all. The one in the air says, you killed half of us at least.
We nearly died too. We did not intend this.
Yes, if you think about it, it's kind of balanced in a way.
You see an ancient dragon that's further back and now peers over at Yuki and Leonid. Just doesn't say anything, just looking very closely.
We need to get out of here.
Agreed.
Bear looks at the others, just
No.
Start moving. Oh,
Yeah, what would you like to do?
from the angry dragons?
he's
There's about 14 of them.
I mean,
There's 7 in the air, 7 on the ground.
Right, with having conversation with you all is a lot of fun. However, it is time for me and my companions to depart. Have a good day.
Helena flies.
Okay, just straight up or out?
Just sort of like, if they're up, I'm gonna just sort of fly away from the glacier.
Okay.
Just be
Back
like,
towards the river, basically.
yeah. But I also tell Avis this if he's near me, and Elliot. Basically, I tell the group that I'm gonna go straight to where we left Treebush. I suggest you guys follow me because they're very angry. They can't see me though, so I'm gonna go. Let's go. So that's what she does.
Okay, so you're invisible, so they're not going to see you leave. They might hear you say this, but they're not going to see what direction you go in. What would the rest of you like to do?
I think that Leonid and I are going to fly away very fast. And if they chase us, that is okay. And possibly preferable. Because some of us...
Other than just fighting.
Yeah.
14 dragons
Yes.
with one ancient, so we're just gonna go.
Leonid and I did have quite a good race the other day. So I think that we are well practiced at this.
At running away. Thank you.
Yeah.
And you're going south, which is towards the river?
Yes.
Okay. Rest of you?
Jesse is gonna hold on to his amulet for a little bit. It is sort of like a carved bit of like bone from a sea animal, and he is just gonna have a quick little prayer in Celestial. I don't know if this is something you do, but if you can hear us right now, we could probably use a bit of help. And if not, I mean, I understand our time's going to come sometime, but, well, I'm going to get flying now. And he's going to try and fly in that direction, I guess, because don't know what else I could do.
Okay. And Avis and Latreia.
Just yeah, you can just go leave.
Same thing, flying south.
Yep, ain't nobody scared of no dragons, it's fine.
Okay. And Jesse, you fly south. Everyone flies south who can fly. Now we have the 3 storm giants who cannot fly.
Shireen is going. Latreia is going to look at Shireen and give her like a slight smirk, just a cheerful grin. And he looks over towards the adult dragon, who clearly looks angry.
Looks what? Angry?
Angry, yes.
Okay.
And as he steps, he actually kind of, because he's assuming Shireen can be able to support the storm giant on her own due to her being strong one. He's going to slide away just a bit and then look towards the dragon and say, "This must hurt. I know this must hurt because what happened to me hurt. What happened to them hurt. And all this is in Draconic. So now we've all experienced what we've gone through. Hopefully, going forward, we could be able to find peace and share this land.
Go ahead and roll persuasion.
I should not be the one doing this, but I still got lucky, so that may help.
I gave him Bardic Inspiration because that was
great.
dope.
Yeah.
That was just a hilarious thing to say.
At the far, like as Avis is leaving, Bardic Inspiration.
Yeah. Mhm.
All right, let's go. First roll. Okay, well, I'll use lucky just to be the safe side. Oh, you gave me Bardic Inspiration? Was that a D8?
Mhm. 10, right?
Yep, D8.
Oh, D8.
D8 for my level.
Okay.
Yep, D8.
Oh, wow. Okay, well, I won't need it now. 14, 20. 21.
Okay. That was without the Bardic Inspiration.
That was with the Bardic Inspiration.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Just curious, what did you roll without it?
I rolled a 14 and I have a +1.
Okay.
Wait, no,
So you
persuasion. But yeah, +1.
So you still did, you did decently well, and then that put you over the 20.
Mm-hmm.
So you say these beautiful words. You infuse them with that feeling of revenge that's been simmering inside of you on behalf of your dragon companions, knowing their story, knowing how these are the dragons that caused their suffering, caused them to have to leave home the way you did as a baby.
Mm-hmm.
But you still managed to kind of hold on to this diplomacy and offer them peace. The white dragon steps forward slowly, looks you right in the eye, and says, "Who are you to offer peace?" And with that, we're actually going to take our break here.
Okay.
Dun, dun, dun.
All right.
Oh my God.
Spicy.
Dear Lord.
So I hope you all are enjoying this session. It's been so much fun so far. We're going to take a solid 10 to 15 minute break. I cannot wait for us to come back and see how this is going to go. Again, if you like what you see here and would like to talk about the campaign, we do have a Discord section where you'd be able to join, talk about, we have a spoiler as well as a non-spoiler section. We have a fan art section, and our VODs are normally released up there, so you all can be able to see our videos in higher video and audio quality format. With that said, like I said, we're going to transition to break, and we look forward to see you all for the second half of Lords of Faerun, but where from now? All right, and we are back for the second half of Lords of Faerun. Unfortunately, one of our players, Diana, they had to step away. We definitely wish you best wishes. Go ahead and get some rest. And with that said, Elisa, take it away.
Who are you to offer peace? You hear these words hissed at you in Draconic. But, yeah, I was just going to say, but your persuasion check was very successful. And so you have their attention.
Latreo takes one step forward, stares directly into the individual who's speaking for them and says, "I am Latreo of the Frost Giants, not Frost, Storm Giants, the Rivara clan, taken from my home, from the Frost Giants. And so I know truly how it feels to have someone come by and devastate your entire location, your home, your life, your experience. I have felt all of it. So through that, I know what they've gone through, and I know what you're going through. And so because of that, I believe now, through shared experiences, you may now be able to find peace.
Cologne continues to stare. This adult white dragon just continues to stare at you, taking those words in. The ancient white dragon that was further back and now watches the retreating dragons, Leonid and Yuki, with their riders and with an invisible Helena, though they don't see her, steps forward and whispers into Cologne's ear. And Cologne looks now at the retreating dragons with this look of realization on her face and says, "You brought back the pins. You brought them back to this land. How?"
We found them not too long ago when we rescued them from a cult of sorts. We became friends with them, and we gave them a home. But we knew the place that they reside was not their home. This is their home, just as this is your home. And so we transition here, flew here to find a place for them to call their own. He points to the entire glacier, says, "There's more than enough space for everyone here." So we were fortunate enough to become with their lives.
The ancient white dragon standing next to the one who's been speaking to you now looks at you and hisses, almost rumbles, "Those dragons should not exist."
Why?
"They should have been extinguished from the earth."
Why?
And the ancient dragon once again whispers to the adult dragon. The adult dragon says, "There seems to have been some ancient misalignment. Egos flared. And their ancestor, my ancestor, who up until moments ago lived within the bowels of this very glacier we stand on, they were misaligned, you might say. Tempers flared, they fought. And my ancestor found a way to drive their ancestor and all of his lineage away from this land. It was fair, and it was right, and it was done. And now bringing them back here to this land and destroying our home, killing many of us, including that ancestor below. You say now, this is fair?"
He turns, looks to Shireen, and then towards the frost giant, who is clearly frozen as a trophy, giving an extra stare at the frost giant. to kind of give an indication of clearly there's additional layers located here. And then as he gives a few seconds of that stare, he returns back to the individual and say, well, how you express things is very different from how they view. Many people have told stories about what has happened here. Just because this is your experience does not mean a common ground could not be found if it was worked harder. Was it fair? I don't believe any of this is fair. Them losing their territory? Not fair. You losing your home? Not fair. Me being taken away from my home? Not fair. Me likely transitioning to the Frost Giants and settling a score, talking to them before peace is made. Not fair. But at the end, when we work together and we find that common ground, when experiences is shared, I believe peace can begin. Until someone experiences the pain of what another group goes through, empathy is less likely to be felt.
I'm going to have you roll a persuasion check again. This time it's not on the leader. It's just going to see how the rest of the dragons receive what you're saying.
Okay. Should not be the one doing this because I have a +1 to charisma, but I still have lucky. Got 2 more of those. I don't. How far? Just to clarify, there's no bardic inspiration coming my way. I'm just.
Well, yeah, I was going to say at this point, unfortunately, Avis,
we're all
you
far
have,
away.
Yeah, far away.
They're
Gotcha.
pretty far away.
Okay, no worries. He like I say, he stepped forward, he would take this on his own. So this is what he's gonna do. All right, I got lucky on the safe side. Okay, so that was actually number 14. I'm just going to use lucky just to be on the safe side. Let's see if I get higher. Oh, 18. Okay, so 18 plus 1 is 19.
Okay. So this last delivery you give of words, you look around at the other dragons who are standing around the leader and the ancient one. And you notice that they are now looking and whispering amongst themselves, and a couple of them step closer and look to the leader and say, one of them says, Cologne, who are they talking about? And Cologne turns and, who are you talking about? And Cologne turns and says, an ancient enemy, one that we had ensured would not continue on. And you notice that the ones asking the questions are actually young dragons. And the older ones have been silent among the group. And some of the older ones step forward and try to help kind of explain this to the younger dragons and say, we did what had to be done. This is our territory. They were encroaching upon it. They do not belong here. We did, so we found a way. And the younger ones are kind of protesting and pushing back against this. And you notice that your words have kind of sown some kind of discord among these white dragons, the Hellfens. The ancient white dragon turns to them and says, my mate, who's buried down below because of their actions, is the one who brought this. The one who put this in motion to save us all. Because trust me, if we hadn't done it to them, they would have done it to us. It was survival. And hearing their elders speak up about this, you can tell that the younger ones are still not happy about it, but they're not talking back anymore. They kind of silently take this in. And Cologne, the leader, she watches and listens to all of them speak and then turns back to your group and says, I suggest you leave here, or you will have to be buried here as well.
He looks at Cologne looks at Shireen and the others. They return his eyesight back to the Cologne and says, "We will go. But does this mean going forward that territory can be shared? These new dragons that you've seen here mean no harm to you. The discourse and problem that you possess were generations ago. To place that type of ideology that these young dragons will possess the same type of hatred. By even giving them a chance to show they could be different. Should an opportunity at least be offered to show that two separate clans can work together as one?"
Cologne takes this in and looks back at the ancient dragon, who is also taking this in, thinking. I'm going to have you make one more persuasion check, but
Okay.
you have advantage because you have convinced both the leader to not completely just blast at you, and you have convinced the other dragons to start actually hearing what you're saying and questioning this ancient feud. So go ahead and roll persuasion one more time, and this will be specifically for the territory question.
Okay.
But you have advantage.
All right, perfect, because I'm going to need it. Oh, that was a 17 on the first roll, so we see, and a 7. So I'm going to take that 17. That'd be 18 total.
Okay. Cologne says, "We, the Hell fans, white dragons, people think we're not cunning. People think we're animals. We just take what we want and kill whatever we don't agree with. And in some ways they are right, because we have operated that way for a long time. You here, with this show of violence, destroying our home, killing more than half of us, killing our ancient one, you have shown that you are formidable. And if these dragons that you have brought back to this land can pledge themselves to the Hell fans, then we may accept them as ours to replace who has been lost. So what you're hearing is a yes, with the slight condition that they have to pledge themselves.
He nods. He says, "Very well. I will present this to my friends and see what they say."
You hear in something almost guttural that's not even draconic, Cologne calls out to the other dragons in the air, which, by the way, have been kind of trailing behind the others. Cologne calls them back, and they turn away and come back to the glacier. And Cologne says, "I still think you should leave. Because my temper, I may not be able to control it if you do stay."
Very well. Hopefully we see each other again on better terms. And he nods, turns around, and starts walking.
Okay.
And then he'll go underneath places his arm, begin with an A. What is the storm giant's name again?
It's Eris.
Eris.
So, yeah, ERAS, but
Oh,
whatever.
ERAS. Okay, so he will place Eris' arms, placing around his shoulders, and says, "Well, that's the best we could get for now." And starts walking towards.
Okay, yeah. So just to give you a update on the setting here now, the physical setting we're in. Excuse me. Behind you is the edge of the glacier that had calved off. Now, before there was no ocean there, because you walked up to this glacier wall, climbed up it, and then you followed that tunnel in. But now, where that tunnel used to be is water, because that part of the glacier has just sunken into the icy water that was underneath it. So there's like 60 feet. Yeah. Let's say, I think actually 80 feet, because when you came in further, it was another 20 to 30 feet. It also was windy, so it wasn't a direct shot. So, okay, it was like 20 to 30 feet inwards. So you have about like 80 to 90 feet of icy water behind you, between you and the land. And then further south is where the dragons are flying ahead and where you left other dragons back at the river. In front of you, facing north, is the dragons that you were just talking to, and the rest of the glaciers on either side. But in order to, you have to walk past them, is what I'm trying to tell you. So do you want to just walk past them?
So just to recap, in order to go the same direction as my friends are going, I will have
to swim.
Have to swim. Oh, well. Hey, you said it's only 60 feet. I mean, he's already half that height to begin with. So
it's it's like 90-ish.
90-ish, yeah. So he'll look towards Shireen and says, "Ready for a swim?"
Okay. I'm actually going to have us cut narrow.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't have to play that out. You're able to swim across. Mm-hmm. Back at the river, you all have convened again. And we'll say Latreia and Shireen have brought Eris. You're soaking, dripping wet. Jesse, Kay the dwarf, Helena's invisible, Avis and Yuki, Elliot and Leonid. And also, I mean, we'll talk about that later. Excuse me. So you all are back at the river, safe and sound. Latreia, do you update everyone on the conversation that you had?
Oh, yes. When he returns back, he pretty much tells everyone the full scoop and the conditions of if the dragons decide to stay here in this territory, what they state would be the prerequisite. So
very impressive. I'm very proud of you, Latreia. Your way with word was quite admirable.
It's easier when I don't talk in common. Common, I can't really express myself very well. This is in Draconic, by the way.
Okay.
This is our language together, Draconic.
Yeah, besides
except for Jesse. Jesse's like,
And then when he switches, when he sees Jesse's face, he says, "Easier." Draconic in Draconic.
You say so. It still just sounds like a whole bunch of growling.
He literally gives a small chuckle at that. It says, "Maybe."
Not that you're not a good teacher, Jackson. It's just my mouth does not want to make those sounds.
It's like German. like the mouth movement in German is so hard.
That does not sound, well, unfortunately I was not there, so I can't tell you if they were telling you the truth or not. Though it does not sound very positive to me.
They have a belief. That belief, that experience that they have is going to be very difficult to shake.
Yes, everyone has a belief, and everyone is very stubborn when it comes to getting rid of them. I do not believe it will be very safe for companions to join them. Being recruited as outsiders because a group of adventurers has slaughtered half of their original family. Is not exactly the way for warm-blooded familial relations. For people on the surface, anyway.
I don't think our companions are going to join them anyway. This was meant to find a place for people, for their other brothers and sisters that didn't want to stay with us. Wasn't that the plan originally?
I think so.
I believe so.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they're going to be taking kindly to this offer either, because to be fair, they weren't real happy having to live under anybody else's rules. And honestly, they were a little bit uppity as teenagers can be. So I figure if they come here, it's not going to be too much long before they give the wrong big old white dragon some lip and find themselves at the short end of the stick, so to speak.
Well, we didn't. We could just offer this as an option. I mean, I'm sure in our adventures, and this is all coming from a voice from out of nowhere, I'm sure in all of our adventures we're gonna find other places. This is just a good option for them if they wanted to come back.
I don't think it's a good option per se, but it is an option. However, I do have two possible areas. Because Vasa is large. These Hellfan only possess a corner of this mountain structure. There's multiple areas to explore in this location where they can still find territory and just be forewarned to not overlap into the Hellfan clan.
Unless they want to, put their loyalty to the Hellfans.
Yeah, which...
And again, that's a choice that they can make if they want to.
Mm-hmm. There's...
Emer did say there's potentially space from further north.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was where the Frost Giants were located at, right?
Okay, so to give you a recap on that, further directly north of where you just were on the glacier, there is free territory, open territory, and as well to the west. To the north and east is where the other, they're not actually Frost Giants. I think I misspoke last session. I was saying storm. I meant Frost Giants. I'm sorry.
Storm Giants.
Storm Giants, but they are the ones that Latreia, your family, were at odds with. And then they made peace. The Dorgors, I think they're called.
They're not, they're Frost Giants.
They are Frost Giants?
Yeah, they're Frost Giants.
Okay. Then never mind. Yes, but they are northeast of here. They're not the ones that are directly north.
Okay. So north is free territory. West is free territory. Northeast is the Frost Giants. And then south is where the Rivara clan resides, right?
Yes. And Eris is not as a Frost Giant, though. Eris is a Storm Giant.
Yeah, Storm Giant. Oh,
yeah.
Okay. That was...
that was before, where I misspoke. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Thanks for that clarification. So yeah, he says, there's a couple of locations that could still be presented for them. This was primarily meant for obtaining that dagger, which, and he will present, and at least we were able to free Evrius. So that's a plus.
How are you feeling, sir? Jesse says as he's looking up at Mr. Eris.
Eris looks a little bit better than before, just a little bit. And Eris says, "Well, I'm awake, and I'm now very awake, but I could use some type of meal, some sustenance of some kind. I still don't know how long I've been asleep. So that's..."
Did Ymra tell us?
Hundreds of years, right?
Ymra did say it was a battle that happened centuries ago.
Mm-hmm.
When she was still very young.
Yeah, when she was...
So it's a long time ago.
Mm-hmm. So Latreia says, "Do you happen to know of someone named Yrma?"
I know of someone's child named Ymra.
He smirks. He's not a child anymore, but she would look forward to see you.
You see the realization on Eris's face as he kind of just takes in how long it's been. Nearby, your dragons have had their own huddle. And so Yuki and Leonid are kind of updating everyone on what happened. They also they pause long enough in their huddle to hear Latreia and Shireen, Latreia mainly, tell what happened after they left. And they are themselves talking. And Jackson says, so we have to bring this back to the other dragons and see if they want to stay here and pledge allegiance to the clan that tried to kill us all. And Treebush says, wow, I mean, the absolute gall of them to say that we would have to pledge ourselves to them when they tried to kill us. We got retribution. That's all that happened. And Leonid says, well, it's their choice to make. If our cousins, if our siblings back home want to, they can do it. But I mean, maybe we should make them promise never to try to kill us again. And Yuki says, that is a very good idea, actually. Maybe we can have like a double pact with them. And you just, they're kind of back and forth about just turning this idea over and thinking about the dragons back home, how they're going to take this news.
Latreia, do we hear the conversation going forward?
Yeah, I would say you heard like snatches of their conversation as well.
Latreia will speak out and says, just for awareness, that is not your only option. There is also free territory to the north and to the west of this location, where neither actually reside if they want to be completely isolated. Mm-hmm. But if they want to follow suit with the Hellfire camp, that's perfectly fine as well, if they wish.
And Jackson says, I think, as Leonid said, or Yuki, I forget which one of you just said it, then that should our dragon friends or any of us decide to return, even if we go further north or west to our own territory, then we should have them agree never to try to kill us again like they did so many years ago. And the other dragons kind of nod, and even Treebush, still looking angry, says, yeah.
Agreed. And just know, if they do try us up, let us know. We'll be back.
Snowroot says, well, if we're not all dead.
Well.
Helena walks up to Treebush and just sort of like touches Treebush. I don't know if Treebush is going to be surprised, but I feel like no, because Helena does spend a lot of time invisible. So basically like sort of expects a random and just like whispers into Treebush's ears like, I mean, do you want to stay here or do you want to... I would definitely... Like, she says this in a, like, an insecure way because she doesn't want Treebush to stay. She wants Treebush to keep hanging out with her. So she says this in, like, an insecure way of, like, do you want to stay here? Is that... I mean, if you want to, I'm not going to force you to come with me. I mean, you know, it's up to you if you want to, you know, do whatever you want, I guess.
And Treebush hears you say this and says, no, I want to stay with you. But it would be nice to have a homeland to go back to every once in a while, you know? And I hope it works out because if they try to kill my cousins again, I'm going to be really, really, really mad.
Don't worry. If they try to do something a little bit different, I'll be there for you.
Okay. And so Yuki kind of like creeps up to Avis and nuzzles your shoulder and says, by the way, I want to stay with you too.
Of course, you're always welcome, though I can't guarantee that everything will be quite as fun as recent events, but I wouldn't have it no other way.
We should talk about. I feel like you don't really admit how bad things are, though. Do you notice that you do that?
I have absolutely no idea what you mean.
Like that. Like literally, if I were to start a fight with you right now, you would just be like, "Oh no, we're just having a conversation." Like if I were to throw you into that lake, you would be like, "Oh, I wanted to go for a swim." Like if I were to turn you into a popsicle right now, we would melt you and then you'd be like, "Oh, that was refreshing."
There are reasons, of course.
Speaking of
Helena
which,
is laughing because she knows how Avis is, and it's like loud laughter just coming from invisible air or whatever. It's just loud laughter.
Yeah, there's definitely a full chuckle from a track.
So just is having a laugh too. I have a question, DM. Because I'm able to channel my key to do those radiant sun bolts and such, would I theoretically be able to use some of my key points to just channel that radiant heat a bit into this scroll to try to dry it out a bit?
You're trying to dry them out, you said?
Yeah.
Yes, I would say yes. Yeah, would you like to do that?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so you pull them out of their goat hide tube that is also kind of drenched now with that icy water. You see most of the page is just like the ink has been blurred from the water. You apply your radiant heat to dry the parchment, and now it's like, that texture that paper gets after it's been dried, after being wet.
Yeah.
The ink is still blurred though. I'm not sure if anyone has a magical prestidigitation or something.
I'm mending.
And yeah, let's see, what does mending do?
If it's ripped, I can fix it. That's
It is
about it.
not ripped. It's more so the ink is blurred.
I don't know if there's anything that fixes that magically. Not to my knowledge. To my knowledge.
Okay.
I don't know if identify might work.
I would say the word, there's just like 2 or 3 words on it that are intraconic, that are not completely blurred.
Well, they're dry. I don't know. Maybe Emer's got some way of fixing this for us. I don't really know, but these things are probably important.
Okay.
We'll just have to find out later.
Well, shall we get some food for you, Mr. Eris? Eris, right?
So, you all would like to go somewhere to get food? Okay.
Helena is gonna walk up, is already next to Treebush, and just sort of say, "I'm gonna go hunt with Treebush if that's okay with you guys. I'm gonna be right back. Just I feel like a good hunting trip is what we need right now for the food, if you guys are okay with it."
Sure.
Sounds good to me.
Be careful.
I will be very careful.
Latreo kind of steps forward to Snowroot and says, "So I noticed when," and this is more like a whisper to her, not whisper, but like a softer voice. He says, "I noticed when retribution was talked about, you didn't really seem to share that same interest. How do you feel?"
Oh, I mean, especially in light of what just happened. I think we got our retribution already. So why continue, If our ancestor and their ancestor had this feud, why continue it? Why should we continue it? As long as they don't want to continue it, then I don't think we should either. But, thinking back now, maybe it's good that what happened to them.
He nods. This is why I have not stopped in my goal of reaching the frost giant. Only through experiences I've noticed the people finally start to understand the other side of the spectrum. When that experience is not there, or when you ask them to see it from without their own experience themselves, they lack the foresight on most occasions. So I'll be honest, I was happy to show that experience to them, because only through them feeling your pain did they finally understand what you've gone through. And now they could be able to make better decisions going forward.
Yeah, I think it probably humbled them.
He smirks. Well, I'm glad I could help with that. He kind of places his forehead against her nozzle mouth.
And Jackson has come over to you, Jesse, and said, "Your wings, they're a little frozen. It looks like you've lost some feathers on the edges of your wings. Are you feeling all right?"
I mean, yeah, when I put them away, it's all just energy, it'll come back, no problem. But I'm all right. Thank you, kid. I'm just, I don't know. That was a tough situation there. And I'll be right honest, I didn't entirely know what to do. It was leave with this person on my back and find the others, or stay with others who were leaving. When a crew is split, it's hard to know which direction to take people in. That didn't sit well with me. So I think my wings are going to be fine. There's just a lot to consider.
Jackson puts his wing around you, kind of in a friendly, little shoulder hug. And also, Dragon. What's that?
Jesse will give a big hug.
Okay. You wrap each other in a hug. And Jackson pulls back from the hug and looks down at your boots and says, "Well, what shall we do now? You only have those boots, and you were looking for the ring of warmth from Ymra, but you don't have the dagger."
I don't know. I'm hoping maybe bringing her the man behind the dagger will be enough for her, because I do like to make true in a bargain if we can. But who knows? Maybe our friend, once he recovers a little bit, will maybe let us know where his dagger is. Maybe it was with him.
Well, for your sake, my friend, I hope you can find that ring of warmth.
Well, these boots ain't so bad, and I'm hoping I won't be in these climbs all the time. Unless, of course, you do plan on staying here, then, I'll have to visit a lot more than I was planning to.
Well, as long as I can find some books and set up a library, then I'd be open to having a room in whatever place they set up in my cousin's. And yes, you would have to visit.
Just a room, though, right? I mean,
Just
it's
a
not
room.
like I'm going to buy my own ship one day and you'll be on the ship or anything. You
I
know?
could come and travel and adventure with you. I wouldn't mind that at all.
And you know, it's not too long before my daughter's going to be old enough to take her first voyage, and you know, we don't always do those as families, but if I ever do buy that dang ship, I think she'd like it.
That sounds like a nice family adventure.
It does. That does. Well, now, what do you think your brothers and sisters are going to do?
Well, I think the others back on the island definitely want a place of their own. So, well, you know what I think sometimes about the two that are the most troublesome? I think sometimes they just need some authority that actually can work for them. I mean, some sea elves that they could turn into popsicles with an icy breath, that's not real authority. But some other dragons that are older and wiser than them, that might be real authority to keep them in line. So they might want to join the Hellfans.
They might. You know, I've been meaning to actually try and get to a bigger city to try and find a bit more about dragon kind in general, because the way they seem to be talking about you and your family, like you're different somehow. I want to find out how or why. Are there other dragons that you might be better off being with as opposed to these white dragons here? You take my meaning?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I don't want what is good inside all of you to be maybe overridden by stronger personalities just because you happen to have the fortune of growing up.
That is a good point. Something to think about. Perhaps we should do some more research ourselves on dragons. Because I only know these dragons I grew up with. Maybe we are different in some fundamental way. I don't know.
Well, Emer might have a library. We can't bring her dagger, but we'll at least bring her a folk hero to come sing our praises for getting him out of an ice block.
You look over at Eros, and he doesn't look very folk hero-y right now. He actually looks like an uncle who just woke up from a nap at the cookout and is like rubbing his belly.
Eating the
Like-
turkey, he just like chilling on his side.
It's just like, all right, where's the food? I need some food. And so now let's actually cut to, let's see, where are we? You all are at the riverbank. Where would you like to look for food? I know some people are hunting, some dragons are hunting. Would you like to set up camp and have food, or would you like to find food somewhere?
I think Latreo would definitely try to help set up camp because he knows he's going to be asking Eris some questions. And around this time frame, he realized he doesn't really need to be his storm giant form anymore. And so you kind of see, of course, the same green ethereal essence just kind of like appear from outside of his back and wraps around him almost like a cocoon as the runes just start to transition back from all over his face and almost like he just vanish. And then he shrinks down from his standard, not his standard, from like being like 36 feet tall to back down to like 9 feet. And he's back, and he's now back to normal.
Eris has not seen this happen before and just watches wide-eyed as he shrink down to someone taller than him, to someone up to his like knee. I think, right? Yeah, we said knee or his like quad-ish area.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, "Oh, I've been asleep a long time, haven't I?"
He smiles. He says, "Yes, there's a lot I have to share with you, but there's also a lot I would like to know, like about storm giants."
Okay. So we cut to, you have set up camp here on the riverbank, and it's nightfall. It's actually a beautiful night. You actually see Aurora, like in Jesse and in Latrea's backgrounds. You see Aurora up in this far northern sky. And you've set up a fire with a pit. The dragons have returned with their kill. Helena and Treebush, I will let you decide if you rejoin or when you rejoin. And you all have this meal together in the early evening. It's cold, but you all are wrapped up in warmth around the fire, and you're enjoying this evening. Eris is chowing down on some of the meal and just really, food. Oh, it's so good to eat food again. You know, I remember when they put me in that glacier. I was passed out, but I started to come to a little bit, and they were blasting ice at me with their frost breath.
What?
And then all of a sudden, I couldn't move. And I don't remember anything after that.
What happened before you passed out? Like, how did that transpire?
Oh, it was an epic battle. I had my flame dagger. I call her Ruth. Oh, Ruth. She never failed me in battle. But with that flaming dagger in my hand, I cut through so many dragons, and they were so mad. They were so mad. But one of them just blasted my hand with frost, and the other clawed at the other hand. And I dropped Ruth, and I didn't see where she went. And then they attacked me all at once. And I don't know what happened to the other giants with me. Some of them must have fallen too, but they only got me. So maybe they ran away, maybe they got away. But I fell. They just overwhelmed me. And then I woke up in the glacier with them encasing me in it. And then I fell asleep for a long time, apparently.
Good trees. Well, the good news is the storm giants were victorious and was able to push the dragons back. And so, even though you failed, your hard work was definitely felt throughout the land. So, from a half storm giant, thank you.
That fills me with so much pride. I can't wait to get back home and see everyone. Oh.
Yeah, you would trail like Superman. He was like,
We'll probably want to get you to Emer first, so that you can maybe fill in some gaps, because I don't know who else would be able to, really.
Baby Ymra. She was such a plucky child. She loved to play with vegetables. She would have them talk to each other, and she would build little mazes for them to run through.
Well, she likes her mazes.
Oh.
Her vegetables now kind of transition to just items. He has the most random selection of items I have ever seen. He just shrugs. I've never seen it before, but
I think she may have a little bit of a problem, to be honest. You might want to have a talk with her.
But she adores you. The way she spoke about you and your adventures in combat sounded like a League of Legends, which truly is. But she adores you.
I wonder if anyone else I remember is still alive.
Ooh.
Can I ask you a question? When you were around back in the day, did you know of the separation of the clans of the White Dragons at all? Did you know about the Pin clan and the Hellfang clan?
They were all just white dragons to me.
I really wonder what happened. I'm so interested.
Yeah, this could be very difficult because right now we just have word of mouth. Even what they stated was very different from what Irma stated, which is slightly different from what the Pen stated. So it's going to be very difficult to get to the true bottom of exactly what happened and how to, go forward from there. In terms of people you may know, who do you recall from the Ravara clan, from our clan?
Let's see. Well, there was a young woman named Nerfilia. And, I had a thing with her mother, Edgewa. Edgewa, just beautiful, beautiful storm giant. Tall and broad and proud. Gorgeous curly locks. We were just friends, but we were childhood sweethearts. And we both married different people. Yes, it's my wife. I know my parents are long gone, and I was the youngest sibling, so probably not them.
Sadly, I believe your childhood sweetheart, for what I heard from Aeolic towards Shireen, has went for confirmation, has passed away, right?
Shireen nods and says, "That's our grandma." And Eris says, "Oh, you're the children of Nerfilia? Little Nerfilia." Edgewa. And Shireen says, "But you can still see her in the clouds. She became a thundercloud." And Eris says, "Of course she did. Of course she did." And the meal continues, and you all share these warm memories. Eris telling you stories of the storm giants and the frost giants, that conflict. Is there any other questions you'd like to ask Eris, or anything else anyone would like to do before we end the session?
Basically how I'll join them will be decided by this answer. So as Treebush and Helena sort of fly off into whatever to start hunting, she finally drops her invisibility and looks at this giant sword in front of her and investigates it.
Okay.
And basically she's looking for anything that might jump out at her, whether she can, basically trying to see if it's powerful enough. She's decided that maybe this is a weapon that she can use against the wizard. And if she can, she's probably going to try and keep it.
Okay.
But that is basically the intent now of Helena as she looks at this and sees, maybe I don't have to give it away if this is something that I can wield, basically.
Okay. So instead of rolling investigation right now, I will just tell you what you see, and then you can roll further for if you'd like to apply deeper knowledge if you have it. You see it's the size of a great sword, and It does look like a dagger for a large person, which is what it is. You see it's beautiful polished metal. It was preserved pretty well in this icy treasure room. You see just like beautiful etchings and details on it that look like clouds or like swirls along the edges of the blade. And on the hilt, just at that cross section of where the hilt and the sword, where the sword comes out of the hilt, you see what looks like a rune of some kind. Now, if you'd like to see if you recognize the rune, you can roll Arcana.
I will do that.
Okay.
Okay. Ooh, that's a 19 plus 3.
Okay.
Oh, actually, plus 2. Sorry.
Okay, so being friends with Latreia, Latreia is a rune knight, and you know that he has runes that he uses. It's not one of these runes, but just using your deductive reasoning, knowing what his runes look like. Latreia, remind me which 2 runes you have.
So I have currently have the frost rune and the fire rune. Yeah. And there's also some additional runes on the amulet itself, but that's like a hybrid rune of his eternal rune magic and the Fae-like magic of his adopted mother.
Okay, so actually you do recognize this as one of Latreia's runes, and it's the fire rune.
Interesting.
That's where the chains come from. It's from the fire rune.
Right. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I would also tell you with that roll, you would know that unless you are yourself a rune knight, it's not something you can just
turn on.
Yeah, you can try to use the sword. You would have to train with it to get good at using this big unwieldy sword, but you're not going to be able to just use that fire rune for its purpose without being a rune knight.
Cool. So as they're flying, as she's investigating this sword, she has hope a little bit, like maybe this is something that she can use, something magical, but as she investigates it, she realizes this sword is unwieldy, and she can't even turn on the fire. So she lets out a frustrated, not really a howl, but like a very deep grumble, like ugh. You can basically, like, she has hope that this might be something that she can use, but then when she realizes that she can't, she goes, of course not. Why would anything ever go my way? Why would it? Why? Well, of all the things, whatever. So she flies back, and she just sort of like jumps down with this sword and goes, "Ha-ha! Here, I found this sword for you guys. This was the trip that I took, and I found the dagger. We can meet whatever demand that Imra says. Ta-da!"
I swear Timora is on your side or something. It's unbelievable.
Like the insight check.
Good luck with that. Now you got like a plus 13 to her deception or something like that?
I do.
Yeah, I mean, let's make it an opposed roll. Yeah. So insight Avis and deception Helena.
Latreia, by the way, while that's happening, would like to step forward. How big is this dagger in comparison to him in his standard size? Is it more like a long sword or?
All right, go ahead.
Because I mean, he's a big boy, but he also can use great swords as well.
Oh,
But
no.
Yeah. I was like, interesting. Let's take a look.
I'm just looking up sizes for things.
Mm-hmm.
So, long sword is, great sword. That's what I need to look up. Great swords. So a great sword is about 5 feet long.
Mm-hmm.
And you're able to wield great swords. This is a dagger that's the size of a great sword. So yeah, it's 5 feet.
5 feet long.
And if you can imagine, like, So a sword, I would say the difference between a sword and a dagger of that size is like a sword has a much longer blade to hilt ratio, whereas this dagger has a longer, like the hilt takes up a little bit more space than a sword would. So that's how you can imagine it as.
So Latrell will step forward and say, "May I see?"
Yeah. Helena just gives you the sword. It's useless to her, so she's like, "Here you go."
All right. So,
I'll just resolve this with Avis. So Helena, Avis, you're kind of like, that's interesting. And you do your insight check. But no, Helena did find this.
But lie. She did find it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a lie. You did find it. But because you did roll a 15, and even though Helena won that check, I will tell you this with your 15, you sense that there's something else with what Helena's saying, though. There's either the convenience or just she's a little extra.
Depression.
She's putting it on a little extra, and you're like, but that's all you get. You don't really get more than that from it. Okay.
So Latrell will essentially try to grab the blade, the great sword, looks at it in front of him, notices the fire rune behind it, and then there's like a genuine smile on his face as he sees familiarity. He says, this feels good. And then he turns and brings the blade over to Eris, says, "This belongs to you."
Eris, who's been chowing down into food still, looks up into drops his food. And just like with Rey and Luke Skywalker, you hand over that hilt. And then that's where we'll end our session.
Man, what an episode. I love the RP in here. Wow. Well, I know I have like 5 million things to say from the after show. Once again, thank you, Elisa, for bringing in this incredible campaign. Thank you to all the cast members. You all have made this absolutely fantastic. We're going to go ahead and film an after show after this. If you would like to watch our after show, of course, you just have to join our Patreon, which should be located in the chat above. From there, you could be able to, of course, see our after shows, bonus episodes, and other exclusive content. And I can say you for access to the after shows, it's only, I think it's like the $15 mark. I think we all kind of announced what we were doing for projects at the beginning of the campaign. So we're going to go ahead and raid Vanna. Yes, because Vanna is currently streaming at the moment for Tabletop RPGs. Perfect. Okay. So once again,
love Vanna.
Yeah, love Vanna. So thank you all so much for coming by and taking a look at the stream. Hello, Brio. There you go, Logitech Brio. So thank you all so much for the stream. And of course, hopefully you can join us for next Tuesday for our Riverwood Academy. And we will be back here again for episode 8 of Lords of Faerun. Wow, okay. We're almost at the 10th episode anniversary. Time has flown back. Wow.
We level up.
Yeah, awesome. So we'll see you soon. Farewell from now.
Bye.
Bye-bye.